Alright, if you guys haven't done it yet, please do me a favor, take a second to go retweet about the match. I've linked it in chat. If you guys don't even have any Twitter followers, that's still okay. Just go retweet it, show your support, and sit back and enjoy. So, without further ado, Zamriga, would you mind kicking off these intros?
Sure. In the bottom left, is the red Terran. It's CM Storm's Polt.
And his opponent, with an incredibly stupid name spawning in the top right corner of the map, it is none other than the infamous Major. We've actually seen him a lot under his account named Altaria, playing in the Lycan League. He actually had a lot of TVTs in that first week. But this week, earlier today, and yes, we've been casting all day, he was actually knocked out by Little Bow.
Right. I wondered what this CV was going to do with its scouting before Supply Depot. Hey.
Do you think Marauders or do you think Reapers?
I think
Marauders.
Reapers, just because you said Marauders.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes. You might owe me another $2. You know what I'm saying? But I think Marauders is really cool. We saw a lot of proxy Marauders during the Dream Pool, and not just out of folks like Major, out of pretty much every Korean Terran out there that played in the IEM League. I'm really crossing my fingers hoping for this, because I think proxy Marauders is definitely something that can catch Polt off guard. There was a series forever ago in the Zodiac Cup where, in a best of 3, Fuser even pulled this off against Polt. So it's not a weakness, but it's worked before.
Polt not sending any SCV out to scouts. I don't think he will, just in general.
Boom! Goes the dynamites! I mean, I think you knew it was going to be Marauders too, and you're just being a good co-caster, creating some diversity, but...
Maybe. Anyways.
I'm trying to just build you up here. Alright, so let's talk about why this is good and not. Polt is a player who actually in TVT classically will do a Reaper opener into Banshees or 1/1/1s. There's not a lot of diversity in his openings. But by playing... Oh my god. I've never seen him play greedy in a TVT, but this is the one time it's really going to kick him in the ass. No faster factory, which means no faster Banshee. Oh, and he's going for a quick reactor. Oh dear.
Oh dearie me. Oh,
one
dear.
Reaper can actually kind of contend with Marauders before concussor shells out, but this is still one Reaper he's going to have for the defense for a long time. He cancels the reactor. That's a smart move. Bunker comes down immediately. He's a little supply block, but the depot finishes here soon. Second SCV gets pulled, but if Major can get a single bunker up, Major's in such a good spot. Polt's going to pre-pull SCVs. He knows what to do against this.
I'm honestly surprised that Polt even scouted it, and Major, well, he gets one more Marauder, but then he just goes back to a macro game at home, or, well, you know, a TVT macro game, so a factory.
Oh, Engineering Bay on high ground. This looks silly, but this is so he's got high ground vision, guys. He doesn't want a depot picked off too quickly, and sadly, if he lets the SCVs surround him, he's going to be in bad times. He'll be in trouble, but as silly as it is, a bunker can actually be outranged by Marauders inside another bunker. So right now he can't really outrange this, but when the Engineering Bay gets canceled, if that second bunker can ever go up, he'll get inside and have a good time. But let's not forget, Marauders are bonus damage versus armored, something like a bunker is, and if he can get 3 or 4 of them, he might just be able to tear it down.
He gets one more Marauder. Again, so he's looking for the long game. He's not putting everything in this attack. We got a CC on the low ground, which... You know, Polt isn't building any SCVs right now. They could be on even economy when everything is said and done.
Oh, he's just going to walk past this, try and draw everything out of the bunker. I don't know that Major's able to pull this off anymore, though. Polt just pulls the SCVs again. I kind of feel like he's good to go.
Yeah.
And that's only in a worst case scenario. You might not even be inclined to pull the SCVs at all.
Well, he's taking down units. Which, I mean, they're not a lot of units for either player, but...
I wonder if he's going to cancel the bunker. Get the money back, you know? Go for a...
Oh, he definitely should. He's remembered, now he remembers.
Yeah, right. A Reaper shoots you and you explode that much. Go, okay, Blizzard.
Cancelled, okay. So Polt went up to Banshees, but Major's also up to his own starport. So a Viking will be out there to meet it. Maybe 2 Vikings, maybe even a Raven. We'll see what he adds on after this.
You know, you look at the damage done here, and the units lost. Major actually lost 2 SCVs in this to kill 3. This really didn't end up being that worthwhile of an opening.
Sick. Well,
but
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He might be a little bit behind right now, but Polt, his command service really delayed getting down there. He wasn't exactly producing a ton of SCVs behind this, so on a worker versus worker basis and a base versus base basis, Polt's ahead by a mule. That's kind of it.
And a base and a base's base.
Here a base, there a base, everywhere a base.
It does look really even. I mean, all across the board.
Hellions. I love this move. Polt's gonna actually have to use the Banshee to clean this up, which means he can't go across the map with it.
Yeah. Would have been better to get back into the main, but decides not to. This Banshee does not have cloak.
There's
She's
no
gonna
cloak
be
on the way.
Useless.
Oh wow.
She's dead. That was more useless. That was a lot more useless than the Marauder proxy.
Yeah, actually, this suddenly starts looking a little bit better for Major just because of the investment in that. The Viking is actually, as weird as it is to consider, probably one of the most valuable units in the TVT. It becomes spotter, it becomes air control, it becomes medevac snipes, it denies drops. A Viking goes a long way in the matchup. So to invest in one to kill the Banshee, not a waste at all.
He cancels an add-on on the barracks. I think he was thinking about going stim and has decided to go for mech instead as he just floats the barracks away.
Polt on the other hand, he scans double factories, so he's going to know that it's mech out of Major.
But he already, he lost units. Again, not very many units, but he lost units. He went up to Banshee that didn't do anything. He doesn't have a lot of ground units to, well, punish Major when he's at his weakest, before there are a lot of tanks or a lot of Hellions or medevacs with Hellbats.
Well, Hellions are going to definitely be sort of kingmakers in the early game. But with tanks established, with Marauder counts, I think Polt will be okay. We've seen Polt play against mech a lot, but truth be told, I feel like we've seen Polt lose more to mech than anything else. And I don't mean like he lost more, like his last record sex. I mean like the few times we've seen Polt lose, I meant is usually to mech. There we go. Sounds a little bit better, unless like I'm making Polt out to be a bad player.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember, but a much faster third CC for a Major is, of course, a very good thing, but especially with mech, it's going to be hard to land it. Again, Polt doesn't have the biggest army right now, but soon enough his production will be just a bit better than the mech production. I'm not really worried for him losing anything right now. It's usually the mech player that is very defensive, at least until much later on.
I like this drop. I really like this drop, actually. And the really scary thing is Polt's moving out. So he's actually not quite ready for this. As the Hellions run in, Polt pre-pulls the SCVs, but it kind of lines them up for the Hellions a little bit better, maybe. A couple shots go off, not really too devastating, but could have been some really serious damage.
It's out there with two Hellions. There'll always be a threat. One Marauder even back here might be enough to feel safe. But we still don't have Polt with a third CC, and this has become, well, more and more worrying. I hope soon enough he'll push out and make sure that Major just can't get an easy third, but...
I kind of feel like had Polt not taken damage from the Marauders, had Major done something more normal, we may have seen Major or Polt even go as far as like playing this to the Marine King style, really just going for that faster third CC. He probably could have gotten away with some upgrades too, but all of this was shut down and all of this was changed, and all of this was heavily delayed by the way Major chose to open this. And while it didn't do a lot of damage earlier, it's still echoing back to right now. I mean, Polt's down by 10 workers. He's pushing before combat shields is done, which means his blue flame upgrades is going to be even more effective. But he does have tanks over Major, and that's a pretty big deal.
Major's the one that's going to be spread out. His tank count really isn't all that high yet, so this is a very important push. Attack Lab's still there. I forgot. We do have a third CC finally on the way for Polt. Major, I don't know if we would defend this third. This is dangerous.
At the same time, Polt pushing up this ramp kind of is dangerous too. There's no advantage to pushing right here in particular.
Right, like why not just push the third and get
exactly, like go around the left side, use advantage points. But Auto-turn's going to buy a bit of time. The Hellbat's soaking some of the hits. The tanks do position here for Major. And he's actually a pretty good defensive point. It's too bad he doesn't have a single Banshee. That would have been really nice to push this back, of course. But
yeah.
Yeah, the Vikings have that air control. It means that his tanks will have better vision, Hellions. Longer shots.
Hellions get back into the main, do some damage, or what are they? Yeah, the Hellions.
Yeah, I got about 10 more, or 7 more kills, pardon me, math.
That's nice, it's nice. But it is, if I'm Major right now, I'm just thanking you for running into where my army actually is.
Yeah, it's running into my tanks. He's trying to find a position to siege up. Now, the nice thing is, again, he'll have that vision benefit, but it's really hard. It's a difference of like a pixel or two that you can really siege up versus not siege in. And looks like Polt's actually just going to pull back from this. His third base is finishing up here in a second, but Major's already established his. So again, with 70 workers over 46, with mech being his forte, this looks like a really great game for Major. But the nice thing about playing Bio, there's a lot of sudden, abrupt moves. Doom drops catch you off guard quite badly. But Major's the one still dropping on the other side of the map. Blue Flame Hellbats do a hell of a lot of damage. These cannot be ignored.
I really like how Major is playing out this game a lot more than how Polt is. Okay, he loses that medevac and that kind of sucks, but his army is looking really good. His supply is looking really good. He has a much bigger bank. And Polt really missed out on an opportunity to deny this third. And even then, I don't know if that would have evened things out because the third was rather late. SCV is always pretty low, but it would have been better. A lot better. His other option, of course, is to Doom drop, and there is at least one area that is now being turreted up, so not for long, where he could have. But he's not going for it. Oh, I like this move. I think he's realized that he's kind of lost the opportunity to just be like, you know, the Bio player, pulling everyone apart, getting a bigger, better army, or more faster army. And it's going for starports could be a very big surprise. This is kind of a Hail Mary. If and when, it's coming down to when Major pushes out as he gets closer and closer to maxed out. Polt's gotta just hope and pray he can delay it long enough to get battle cruisers, as he has a fusion core on the way.
Alright, well, a couple things here really quick, guys. First off, this is a great move out of Polt. It's something that's going to definitely capitalize on the fact that his opponent's playing mech. Major hasn't really invested too much into the air, so he's not going to have that default dominance coming into it. But secondly, we've asked the mods to do it at this point, guys. Major's name is really unfortunate, and I don't care which side of the coin you're on for this whole Livy B boost joke drama thing, but I've asked chat to just kind of calm it down a bit, and mods will start cleaning that stuff up. I don't want to see you guys timed out, so asking nicely.
There's that push that I was talking about, as well as some harassment. And Polt, if he has to deal with the harassment, he's not making the tanks siege up and buying time for the battle cruisers.
Yeah, I'd say that's got to be the hardest part at this point. Polt's not exactly lacking on too much money. His income's fine when he's actually mining, but it's the fact that he doesn't have time to get enough battle cruisers out to be a real threat. By the time he loses this third, he'll have maybe a battle cruiser out. One! Singular! Picks up and loads on top of the tanks. There's no bio, there's no marauders. Polt's not even going to try and hold this. Looks like he's just going to try and base trade it out. I don't know how well that's going to go. I think Major's got this.
Yeah, it's just not gone in Polt's favor. I mean, he can drag it out and that's fine, but if he drags out for, you know, too long, it may just be a waste of effort and, you know, a tilting type of game. It just... I feel like the Marauders, they did some damage. They messed his build, his plan up. And then losing that Banshee, I think, also really hurt. Like, his follow-up plan didn't work out at all. And
oh, he's not even really causing that much damage with the counterattack on the other side of the map. Yo, for Polt 2, the Marauders aside, I think one of the biggest things is constantly having to pull off mineral lines, constantly dodging those blue flame drops. Good game is called. Major will take game number 1. And just so much was happening in that game. It was really hard for Polt to keep up with Major on all aspects.